Today I choose to follow you.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, the 27th of September. It's Coffee with God, and trust you got a decent cup of coffee. If you have your Bibles, turn to Colossians chapter 1, verse 15. Colossense 1, verse 15. Amazing cup of coffee. Yesterday I said that we need to just keep the Word of God as our focus, and this morning John's Gospel tells us that Jesus is the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and everything was created through God. And in Colossians 1 verse 15, just listen to what it says. It's just a short sentence, but it's so thought-provoking. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. Now, not only was everything created through him, but he is the visible image of the invisible God. So if we want to get to know God's character, God's personality, God's dynamic, how he interacts, how he sees life, how he would do life, then we need to study the life of Jesus Christ. And where do we do that? We do that in the Gospels. We grow up reading the Gospels. We grow up hearing stories from the Gospels. We grow up and we're taught in Sunday school all about Jesus. And so we tend to, when we read our Bibles, we tend to steer away from the Gospels, or at least when we read them, I know that, I know that, I know that, I know that. But do we know it? And do we know it enough? He's the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. And I received news this morning of a very dear friend of mine's wife who passed away. She was also a friend. And the greatest testimony, or the greatest thing that I think about as I think of her life, I think of Jesus. She was sweet, she was kind, she was considerate, she was patient. She stretched herself. She spent a lot of time learning more about her Christian faith. She had a beautiful, beautiful passion for music and playing the piano and giving expression through music. She impacted lives wherever she went. And the greatest testimony, or the greatest honor that I can think as I think of her, is I think I saw so much of Jesus in her. As I read the Gospels and I discover the man Jesus Christ, very God, very man, I saw so much in Lorraine and of Jesus. And let me think. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. We become like Christ as we walk by faith in how God would lead us through his Spirit and through the living Christ in us. So can I encourage you this Tuesday to go back to the Gospels and go read the Gospels, go get to know Jesus. Paul tells the church in Colossians, verse 16, for by him all things were created in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. Do you know Jesus? If you don't know Jesus, don't die. Lorraine knows Jesus, and we know where she is now after death. If you don't know Jesus, don't die. And if you don't know Jesus, you can't really, really do life. You just get through life. So get to know Jesus. He's the image of the invisible God. You want to serve God, you want to honor God. Be Christ-like. Strive to be some of the fruit of which Jesus is the first fruit. That's my thought for this Tuesday morning. May God bless you, and may May you have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Come and chat to me about what it is to be Christ-like if you have the time and you're in the area. I've always got coffee. Lord bless you.
As for me,